Claudia, it is so nice to be able to sit down here and talk to you today on The Secret Garden. Can you tell us a little bit about this project, what we're sitting around?
Okay, thank you for coming and for the attention you wanted to give to this project. This is a cultural project, we can say. It's a project dedicated to sustainability, of course, and urban biodiversity and creativity. So with Green Island, which is our non-profit organization, we are very happy working on the concept of dialogue between the different arts and the different disciplines and artistical languages. And that's why we are here, surrounded by pieces of art, sculptures, pieces of design, a small botanical garden, and a beautiful carpet by Matteo Cibic.
And so you curated all of this beautiful art. What were you looking for when you were looking for pieces?
That is challenging. That is very challenging because, first of all, as you can hear, we are in a train station.
Challenging environment.
Super challenging. But we started because our studio is next door, and we wanted to go out from the white room, from a square exhibition room or gallery. And we want to work on a public space and on spaces of transit where we could meet as many people as possible, even out from the contest of the Design Week, which is super beautiful, full of energy, full of inspirations, but also a little bit too dense on all the same concept and content. So the challenge is to work on a space like this in terms of security, of course, because this is an open space where everybody can pass and everybody can do something with the artistical objects, with the space itself. And we invited the artist and the designer to think about it. To challenge a little bit the space, the time also, because this is a 24 hours open space, and also the fact that they have to be in a dialogue. So what I, for example, as a curator, love really on this small secret garden is the palette of colors. We cover part of this beautiful carpet, but the most part of these colors, you can find it around you. Either on the flowers, on the blossom flowers, because we are just at the beginning of the spring, either on the artistical objects, on the sculptures. And so this is something that is very interesting for the eyes. And also for the soul, because when you see beauty around you, even if in a small place, but I mean, it goes into you deep inside. So this is a kind of interesting aspect that we are always looking for during our installation, at least, and of course on the choice of the artist.
You mentioned Milan Design Week. Of course, that's happening right now.
Yes.
And it's a big event, big names, big designers everywhere. Why is it special for you to have an exhibition called Secret Garden? Why is that special?
So what is very interesting actually is that Green Island has this year his 21st birthday.
Wow,
so the project,
birthday.
thank you. The project actually, the Green Island project actually started 21 years ago, when we opened our studio here in the area of the Garibaldi train station of the Isola district. And at that time, it was the maximum point of the Fuori Salone, the design week in the city with all the activities, the events. The artist studio, designer studio opened the doors to the public. And at that time, there were some artisans, which is also interesting, art and craft, having spaces and shops here around the area, asking, why don't we do something together? Why don't we implement the area, which was not like today with the Bosco Verticale, the Piazza Gaiolenti, the big buildings. It was a very working class neighborhood, a little bit, different, quite different. So we decided to start the project dedicated at that time, it was quite pioneeristic, to the urban ecologies. Urban ecologies, which means, of course, green areas, of course, sustainability, but also cultural ecologies, also human ecologies, also a dialogue between human and all the other living presence, like bees, for example.
And bees are great. I'm so glad you brought up the bees. Such an interesting story. How did you start bringing in bees into this project?
So actually, my personal, one of my highest passion, let's say, personal passion, is gardening. Gardening, but also professional. As a garden designer, I did a study, a master degree in garden designer, and since then, even if I am an art historian, I started to look closer and more close again to what is important for the garden, what is important for the flowers. And pollinators are the most important insect animals, as we want to call it, for everything that surrounds us. Fruits, vegetables, trees, plants, flowers, everything, it's so important thanks to the pollinators. And then I said, okay, let's study a little bit more about these pollinators, and I became beekeeper, and that's it. A very crazy, different challenge, also because I studied with Mr. Umberto Eco semiotic, and semiotic, it's a very interesting approach to the contemporaneity and to the visual cultures, because it's not linear, not horizontal, not vertical, but it's an approach of 360 degrees. So you have to look at things in such a round way, and very embracing what is in front of you. It's a very, very interesting philosophical studies, and that's, I think, they influenced me a lot. It was a very interesting inspiration.
And it's a beautiful, big idea. And it kind of comes down to little bees in a lot of ways.
To the little bees, actually, if you start to study and to get closer to the bees, either to the family of bees in a beehive, there can be around 30 to 50,000 in a box, in a beehive.
Like something
bigger than this, actually, or either the solitary bees, which are super important for pollination, especially. It's so fascinating. It's so complete. It's such a perfect world, and you cannot get more. You cannot take yourself away from that fascinating world. And so we started to create with a group that I have co-founded called Atelier del Paesaggio, we collect antique vases or vases from the beginning of last century, a little bit special, let's say, in a way. And we put the vases into the hive and we let the bees build the rest to continue the vase.
Bees built this artwork.
And bees, and this is not even finished because we needed to take it out and bring it here. But eventually they can cover it completely or they can create structures. Actually, bees are perfect architects. Gaudí, Mr. Gaudí, Anthony Gaudí, created the Sagrada Familia inspired by the beehive. So that's very, very, very interesting. It's a very, very, and it's again a perfect architecture because the shape of the hexagonal cells, everything they built, it's really, really perfect without loss of space, energy. They are super, super great. So it's a wonderful world.
And what are you hoping guests will take away from the Secret Garden experience?
So what is really, really important is the dialogue between species and the respect for nature. So what we would like as a passionate curator myself, but also the team, all the team that is working with us, is to give back beauty to the people, to the commuters that travel and visit the train station, but also for everybody, for each one of us, to be more respectful of the nature and to be able to create a deeper dialogue with all the other species, other vegetations or animals, and especially insects, because we are not actually the elected species, but insects are.